Is college worth it? This is a question that people have always had and argued about. However, I believe it's more prevalent now than ever. One side of the argument argues that college is a waste of valuable time that young people could be using to make money and save rather than paying. The other side of the argument argues that attending college has statistically substantial positive effects on the income, social lives, and critical thinking skills of college graduates. Each side has its own compelling reasons why. However, I believe the true answer is without question. I can see valid arguments on both sides of the field of why you should and should not go to college. However, it is clear that college is worth it, without a doubt. I messed that up, but it's okay. It's practice. All right. When someone is asked, is college worth it? They are being asked if they believe school is wasting people's valuable time and money, or if they believe that people that invested that time and money profit more in the long run, opposed to those that didn't. Statistical evidence proves that the decision that leads to the greatest career outcome is graduating with a 4-year bachelor's degree, opposed to a simple high school diploma. For example, in the article, college graduates are 177 times more likely to earn $4 million or more. Written by Derek Newton, it states, overwhelming data shows that people with college degrees earn significantly more than those without. Doug Weber, who extensively researched this, recently wrote, let me be clear, the financial returns to graduating from a 4-year college far outweigh any cost of the average student, and that the typical college graduate will earn roughly $900,000 more than the typical high school graduate over their working life. College is the best and most direct path to a good career that pays well. A large majority of people that have graduated from a 4-year college with a bachelor's degree achieve their career job, opposed to those who attend college partially or whose highest education is a high school diploma, paying off the investment made. One could argue that there are more effective alternatives of achieving a good paying career, for example, military, starting your own business, specific trade jobs, etc. But in the end, college graduates make more money. For example, in an article, it states career earnings for college graduates are 71% to 136% higher than those of high school graduates, which is another reason why college is worth it. One could also argue college is a waste of valuable time that young people could be using to make money and save rather than paying. In the long run, you end up making more money going to college than not. For example, in Wiener's article, it proves that college is profitable for students that give a good payout for graduation. Therefore, going to college is a good investment of their funds. By now, it should be obvious that college is well worth it because it leads to the greatest career outcome. It is the best and most direct path to a good career that pays well and gives you a better opportunity to achieve your career job and pay off college investment. All in all, it has been shown with a little discipline, dedication, and hard work, college has a gratifying payoff if you finish making it without a doubt. It's worth it. So that's my speech. I know I need to add a little bit more. I don't think I made the time limit. But yeah.
Okay, your speech is very well put. I would say that maybe you might need one source for your last main idea just to sum things up a little better. Um, I think your best accomplishments in this speech is that you had great enthusiasm and you had a good amount of significant pauses. So that was a good thing about your speech. I would say that maybe two other errors other than the source would be that maybe you have to show a little more hand movement, add a little more depth to your speech, and maybe speaking a bit louder could increase your speech enthusiasm as well.
Cool. Thank you.
You did great, Madison.
Thank you. All right, who's next?
Okay, I could go next.
All
Give me
right.
one second. Okay. How would your life change if you worked from home? Are there greater benefits working from home? And could that help your environment while making that change? Fossil fuels, energy usage, and the usage of office supplies are categories that can be reduced by working from home. After the many jobs, including businesses, research development, and education, we start to establish a better understanding that working from home is more beneficial than working outside in an office job. In terms of our environment, working remotely decreases our air pollution significantly. I'll discuss my first point, which involves the limitation of fossil fuels. Working from home can reduce the fossil fuels emitted from driving to work. Using cars is a big usage of air pollution because of the fossil fuels, and knowing that our population begins to grow a lot more, we start to use more cars, and a lot more people are going to work, and a lot of air pollution begins to build up over time. Energy from buildings and businesses will be reduced significantly if remote working is implemented. Knowing that most people in an office job have to deal with working in a building that involves a lot of power, that involves a lot of electricity needed to get our work done, such as printers, such as fax machines, etc. We have to implement all these other machinery in order to get our work done in an office environment. While working from home, we decide to use our only limited space where we don't have to worry about other people using our electricity except for just us. The cost of paper and other office supplies will be significantly reduced as fewer employees physically attend the workplace. Knowing that we have to use a lot of office supplies in the workplace, we start to use a lot of paper as one of those office supplies, and staplers and pencils and other things such as that, where a lot of wood is used, and that kind of ruins our tree manufacture, where deforestation is implemented way too much to the point where air pollution is increasing a lot more significantly. If I address the opposing side to my argument, working from home can be disruptive, and I will agree with that. However, there is an increase in productivity from a statistic from Australia where 70% of people working from home get more things done because they're more focused rather than being in a hostile work environment where a lot of people can be disruptive most of the time. Another opposing view can be that communication skills may decrease due to the lack of social environment. However, if we start to look at the statistic from newsrx.com, we know that 50% of workers that work online have actually benefited in working where communication hasn't been determined, hasn't been affected, because most people are working the same way that they would be working in an office environment, where communication actually stays exactly the same, since everybody has to communicate in order to stay active in their work environment. Working remotely is an excellent method of reducing air pollution and our carbon footprints. While certain obstacles limit the productivity of working, environmental improvements are increased when staying at home. Fossil fuels, power consumption, and paper are factors that improve the environment when limited. Thank you.
Hey, solid speech, man. I think you did great. I think probably just you sound like you know exactly what you're saying, maybe just finding that flow. Other than that, it was a great speech, and I give that A. Solid A.
Honestly, I would give you a 70 out of 75 just because I think you did really, really well. I think you just need to, I don't know, yeah, like a better flow. Like you had everything down to the T. You just needed to add a little bit more like enthusiasm, I guess you could say, kind of and more flow because you kind of like not like a robot, but you kind of just have like one consistent tone throughout the whole thing versus
Yeah.
like a nice like enthusiastic enthusiastic flow.
Right, okay. Because I will agree that my flow was definitely off on this one. And I think one of those reasons could be the fact that I didn't implement as many sources as I wanted to. And maybe that confidence of my sources kind of messed me up. So I'll definitely improve on that. Thank you guys.
Yep. I think it's my turn. So my topic for the argumentative speech is minimum wage. Some people believe that minimum wage should be more than $15, whereas people think that minimum wage should be lower. I believe that minimum wage should be raised, especially in California. Living costs nowadays are ridiculous compared to how they once used to be, and raising minimum wage will reduce a lot of poverty seen in California, and a lot of high class cities that are filled with poverty. It could also lead to a healthier population and would prevent premature deaths. It could definitely increase the economic state of California and such high prices and everything with that. It can increase job growth. The minimum wage increase would help reduce the race and gender inequality. So if everybody's getting their paid correct amount of the way, if everybody's getting paid exactly the way they should be, a lot of people will be a lot happier in the world, and that would create a lot more peace, love, and happiness. But although increasing minimum wage can have a lot of benefits and life problem solvings, life problem solving problems. Damn. All right, keep going. There are a lot of cons. One thing I would say is companies could replace employees with automated processors. For example, some McDonald's has self-service counters. So seeing all these self-service counters are getting rid of jobs. And I mean, if the money is stacking up like that, people can't lose jobs. There are a lot of unskilled workers in New York based on a study made on a New York timestamp, and raising the minimum wage were able to create high school dropout rates. So people will get used to that 9 to 5 basic living, thinking the minimum rates in whatever country is fine, and a lot of costs will go up. It's just so many different scenarios where things can become rough, but at the end of the day, raising minimum wage can help and bring back and help. Yeah, that's all I got right now. You know what I'm saying? This is my just practice, you know what I mean? I gotta get back to it and keep going with it, but that's all I got for right now.
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
I
not
will
bad. It is just practice. I do think though, I'd give you like so far maybe like a 65 out of 75, just because you definitely need some more sources, some more confidence, and just kind of like a direction of like where you're going. But with more practice and just how we do things, I think you'll be good by the time that the finals do. So, yeah.
Right. I will agree with that. 2 points that I will include that you did very well are that you were able to state your claim and thesis very well, where you were describing why when minimum wage should be increased. And something that I will say that you really did improve on was that you had your points a little more fluent. While you didn't have as many points as I would expect you to, you did include those points that you did have. You were able to address them fluently. So that was really good. But yeah, one of those flaws that you did have was that you didn't have enough sources. Another one I will include was that there was a lack of enthusiasm on this one, but it is a practice, and I know that you can improve on that. So over time, as long as you have all your points, you're good. Another thing is that I think you might need to include a good amount of pauses and being able to improve that vocabulary as well. Once you have that settled down, you should be good for the speech.
Cool. Right on. Thank you. I'll work on that for sure.
And so now we just have to answer like the three questions, like, how have you grown as a speaker from like speech one till now? For me, I guess I could say I'm more confident with speaking in front of others than I was in the very beginning. Um, three things that I've learned about speech making or presenting is that I can use in the future is maybe like eye contact, tone, and keeping people engaged with like what I'm saying. And then like challenges that I've been experienced so far with my speech. I guess like the only thing I could think of is like fidgeting while I'm speaking. Like as you can see, I'm like rocking back and forth, or like I'm moving my hands, or like I'm always fidgeting. So maybe that's something that's been a challenge that I need to work on. Yeah, you guys.
One thing that I would say for sure for me is that I definitely feel like I've improved on speaking a lot more louder in front of people. Another thing is like I use a lot more hand movement, and I feel like I implement that pretty well. Another thing is that my eye contact has improved, so I feel pretty confident with that. Now, when it comes to my flaws, I will agree that I do stutter significantly, and I haven't improved on that. But over time, it just takes more practice for me to improve on that, and that's just an issue that I'll slowly start to develop. So hopefully that can be improved. Another thing is that my evidence needs to be a bit better. So as long as I include more evidence and be able to memorize my lines for this speech, I could be a bit better in explaining my points for sure.
think uh I think I've gotten like my confidence not like kind of cracking under pressure. I think that's what I've gotten pretty good at, those two things, and kind of making eye contact, having a louder tone when speaking. And thing to work on is probably just having information, probably getting more sources when talking and speaking, and probably start including hand movements and like reducing long pauses. And yeah, that's it.
All right, cool guys. So I think that's everything. Nice job.
All right, good job, you guys. You guys did pretty well.